had here in Australia, I was lucky enough to be able to go over to the States and be part of the international research project that Dr. Torres is running at the University of Omaha. And that was a fantastic event and wonderful networking internationally. I think I came from as far afield as anybody, although there was a POM who came. So the two of us sort of got together and ganged up against the Yanks every now and again. But anyway, so when I came back from that, the people who organised that said, you know, there are a number of people that we know of in Australia who are all associated with Gloria's website. And we think it would be useful for them to get together in a meeting. So now you've benefited from this meeting. Would you like to convene one in Australia? And so I said, yeah, of course, you know, fool. And so using Gloria's website and using all the registrations, we managed to send a message around to those in Australia and New Zealand who were associated with that site, asking them if we organised a conference, would they like to come? And the response was overwhelmingly positive. So we pulled together that first conference in 2013, and many of the people who were there are here again, so it's just terrific to see you all again. And Nick at that stage said, she was actually the youngest of us. We were mostly semi-old bags. We're older bags now than we were then. But she was the youngest, and she said that she had found this web page that she'd found it really useful, and why didn't we make it one for all of us? And so using her young people's technological skills, she did it, and it's been wonderful, so thank you. And from that, really, we've grown with the exchange of knowledge, networking. We travel around the country, we visit each other. People don't feel alone. I think in 2013, most of us at that meeting had never met anybody else with the same condition. And for us, the real benefit was knowing that other people were doing it. We weren't alone, but also there was some variation. It wasn't all the one thing. But we were really fortunate then. I was fortunate. I'd gone undiagnosed for about 25 years, like most of us, without knowing what it was that I had. Helpful GPs thought it was premature menopause and put me on HRT. They also thought it was all in my head, so I was sent off to people who examined my head and my past history and my relations with my parents and all sorts of things. But then I was extremely lucky when I got, because my career was in the Australian Foreign Service, so I was overseas most of the time. But when I got back to Perth, when I retired, and I retired early from the Foreign Service because I could no longer stand at cocktail parties. So I knew this was serious. Yeah. I couldn't go on with this career. And it wasn't the drinking. But I was 59 at that stage, so it was early retirement. But I was really lucky because I got back to Perth. I found a GP who said, well, I think you need your core muscles strengthening. I'll send you off for Pilates. And the Pilates girls said to me, this is not muscular, this is neurological. And we'd like you to we'd like to get your GP to refer you to a neurologist. And so Julian Rodrigues came into my life. He saw my conditions, he measured me a bit, and he said, yeah, you've got orthostatic tremor. This is the first time that I knew for sure that's what I had. And he said, take these pills, it'll be all right. So he gave me Lyrica, and he gave me a dose of Lyrica, and I got stuck into the drugs, and I was happy little girl. I got on with my life and my career. And then I was sitting, minding my own business at the traffic lights in my car one day, when this bloody great four-wheel drive rammed into the back of me and gave me whiplash. And I deteriorated rapidly. And my doctor didn't associate with my OT with that accident and sent me off for all sorts of tests to see what I might have had. And then eventually I ended up with Julian, and he said, oh, well, you've just had this whiplash. You've had a trauma to your central nervous system, and we know your OT is somewhere in your central nervous system. We don't know where, but clearly you've had a whack, and that's why it's gone worse. Take more of these pills. So he did. But, and anyway, I can talk about my history privately later, but the point is I'm here to introduce Julian. I've worked with Julian now for a long time. He helped us a lot at the first conference. I've learned a lot more about him in the meantime. I'm maybe insular West Australian stuff, but I think he is actually the best movement disorder neurologist in Australia. And we're really lucky to have Julian agree to come and be with us today and bring some professional expertise to our self-centered meanderings. Julian, you've got introduction notes on him there. You can see all his professional qualifications. Since he's been working with me, he has really established and developed the study and research onto movement disorders, including orthostatic tremor in Western Australia. He's established a DBS unit in the hospital, the Hollywood Hospital where he works. He's a modest fellow, but his staff tell me that he's had amazing results with the DBS with Parkinson's patients, which are, of course, with only a few of us. I think you've got 10 of us, Julian, I think, but he's got a lot more Parkinson's people. And so when I said to Julian, I said, you've got this wonderful DBS unit now, have you tried it on any of us? And he said, nah, none of you are bad enough. So that's the current state. So he's a fantastic neurologist. He's a huge amount of knowledge, a huge amount of empathy, down to earth, doesn't put up with fiddle-faddling around. Time's limited. You've got to get on with the job. He's got to convey the knowledge he has, help you the best he can, and to give your time up, Julian, to come and share that knowledge with the group. We really appreciate it. So thank you very much.